What is the difference between intermediate and advanced? What makes that transition happen, right? Now, for a lot of guys, this is just my personal definition. It may not be what you guys were going off of. A lot of guys would consider an intermediate like you go out, you get some results occasionally. Sometimes a girl really likes you and it seems to go down well. A lot of times you get kind of a lot of resistance early on. Some sets go well, some sets don't. When you have good nights, you're happy you had them, but you're not completely sure why that night was different than another night, that sort of thing. And you always feel like even when you succeed with a girl, you're probably doing a lot more of the pushing, and eventually she just gives in. Eventually she's like, well, you know, I'm alone with him and I'm horny and he's cool enough. All right, fine, right? That's how it often goes down. And then, you know, obviously if, you know, the sex is good and you talk afterwards, then you can get into a relationship off of that, and it's fine, right? But it seems a bit haphazard. It seems a bit like unpredictable, and it always seems like you're the one doing the work, right? But you are getting results. That's what I would qualify as intermediate. And there's a huge range of that. There's you're getting results once a year versus you're getting results like, you know, twice a month, once a week, whatever. But that's the nature of it. For me, advanced is when you have girls chasing you. You have girls trying to get with you. And it's very predictable. You understand what's going on in terms of how to make a good night, how to, if you get into a slump, you know how to get out of your slump, you know how to handle all that kind of stuff, and it's very consistent for you. Does that make sense? Okay. In order for that to happen, you have to understand female psychology a little bit. You have to understand when to pull back, and you have to be patient, okay? In order for the girl to chase you, there has to be a gap for her to chase. If you walk up to the girl and you're just full on the whole time, like, hey, what's up? I think you're hot. I'm in your face. I'm gonna try and kiss you as soon as I possibly can. I'm gonna get physical. At what point is she supposed to start chasing you? How is she, even if she wanted to, how is she supposed to start chasing you? And also, what would be her incentive? She has you. She knows she has you. Does that make sense? Okay. Exactly. So you need to give that space, let her chase. And that's ironic. It's ironic for cold approach because you're the one who approached her. You're the one who walked up to her. So how is it possible that you can walk up to her and have her chase? Well, we have this thing that we call the buyer-seller dynamic. You guys familiar with this? Okay. Best analogy for this is the Best Buy TV analogy, at least the best one I know. So you walk into Best Buy and you're going to buy a television. You've decided, you know the features you want, you think. You walk up and you say to the salesman, I like this television. And I'm going to give it a good home. I make a lot of money. I'll surround it with other good audiovisual equipment. I'm only going to play like PG-13 rated stuff on it. I won't corrupt this television. Right? Why does that seem weird? You walked up to the television, you have to sell yourself to it, right? Right? It's not like that, okay? Just because you walked up to someone or just because you walked up to something doesn't mean you've decided to buy. It means you're interested. More likely what you're going to do if you walk up to that salesman and say, hey, I like this TV. What are its features? Does it have Blu-ray? Is there like, are there any sales or anything like that? Can you give me a discount on it? Right? All these different sorts of things. So you're going to be qualifying the situation as opposed to letting the situation qualify you. Or you're qualifying, in this case, the girl, as opposed to just letting the girl qualify you. Okay? And that flip is very, very important. Right? In order for that to happen, time is a critical factor. All right? If you're trying to sleep with a girl in 5 minutes, what does that convey? It conveys a lot of things. It conveys maybe that you haven't been with girls a lot and that you don't know how to enjoy the experience, right? It conveys that you definitely want something as opposed to being like, I can take it or leave it, right? It conveys that you're into the outcome, not the experience. That's absolutely critical, all right? Again, a girl, if she has sex with you, probably on a certain level is going to feel a little slutty about it, even if she really likes you, especially on the first date or first day that you meet her, okay? However, if the overall experience is so good that it trumps that, then she can wake up in the morning and feel good about it. Then she can wake up in the morning and be like, yeah, well, maybe it was a little slutty, but oh my God, it was so amazing. It was such a good experience. It was like, you know, our eyes met at the bookstore and one thing led to another and it just happened. We had so much in common and I know him so well and I'm going to brag about him to my friends. Right? You want all that to be in place because if that's there, then she'll feel a little bit slutty, but she'll feel a lot happy. Okay? And that's what you want to have happen. You need to have time for that. Also, understand that girls get approached a lot. Okay? Or, even if they don't get approached per se a lot, girls have a lot of options if they want them, right? If a girl said yes to every guy who was offering sex, whether subtly or directly, she would be on her back 24/7. Okay, it's just true. Like Chris Rock has a joke where every time like a guy says anything to a girl, he's actually saying, "Would you like some dick?" Right? Like holds the door. It's like, "Would you like some dick?" Right? It's like, "Oh, good morning. Would you like some dick?" Right? It's kind of true. It's pretty true, right? Now some are more obvious than others. Some don't show intent and give themselves like a chance to win. But if the girl really went with every guy, she would be pregnant very fast or have every disease on the planet or whatever, all right? So the point is she can't do that. She has to screen. In order to screen, what does she need? She needs to get to know you. Okay, what's she looking for? Two things: value and comfort. Value and comfort. And this goes back to evolution. Value basically means if we were on the savannah, would my genes and my ability to take care of a kid and like hunt food and like provide for you and the child be enough to make sure we didn't have like 100% infant mortality rate? All right? That's what value is basically. So on the savannah, could this child have a chance at getting into the next generation? Okay? Comfort is, are you willing to make that commitment? Are you willing to make whatever sacrifice of your time and the meat that you've hunted and that kind of stuff to actually have that happen? Because you could have the biggest, strongest hunter in the world who will get you pregnant and then run off and like leave, and that doesn't help you very much, okay? Value and comfort. That's what it is on the savannah. In the real life, in like normal 21st century life now, what it is, value is, are you a guy who's going to have at least minimum sort of level sustenance, right? Do you have a job where you can deal with life? And then are you going to give me good positive emotions and make me feel aroused the way I would with that guy on the savannah? Okay, and then comfort is, okay, cool. Are those emotions going to last, or am I just going to feel shitty afterwards because you ditched me? Okay. Now, the value part can be conveyed very quickly, right? If any of you guys have seen any of our infield videos, you can see that girls instantly like on a lot of the times. Not always, but a lot of the times. That can be conveyed very quickly, or at least the semblance of it. The emotional arousal can come quickly. However, it's very easy to fake things. It's very easy to lie for a little bit. Okay. Here's an interesting little topic tidbit for you. Do you know who would be like the absolute best opener in game that I've ever met, or that you could possibly know? The best opener in game, this is a fucked up thing to say, would be a pure sociopath. Okay? I've met people who are sociopathic who do game. They open so fucking well, it's unbelievable. Seriously, they have zero approach anxiety, right? They have no attunement to like social cues. They have no attunement to like how the other person's feeling. They don't care. They literally go up with pure bulletproof confidence, and they open so super strong every time. And you see like these guys, like they do things that I'm just blown away by. I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know that was possible. However, these guys mostly don't actually get laid. Right? Very high functioning ones actually can, but for the most part, they actually don't get laid because at some point, the girl is weirded out by like the lack of connection, the lack of reality behind it, right? That's why time is such an important factor, right? Because if it was just, I can convey total bulletproof confidence, anybody who's on drugs could do that, anybody who's on alcohol could do that, any sociopath could do that, anybody who's just having like literally the best day of their life but is a total scrub could probably do that. But if you spend time and get to know the guy, then you find out, is this actually legitimate? Can he actually keep this up over a long period of time? And also, is there any kind of emotional back and forth? Is he going to contribute to me? Is there something real behind it? Okay? So understand that that comfort is part of the whole process. That is part of game, and it's a necessary part, right? Most girls will not sleep with you that quickly. I mean, I've had the quick ones. I've had like 5-minute, 10-minute pulls and lays and stuff like that. But most times, even from like a nightclub in Vegas, it's going to take between 1 to 3 hours. Most on average, including like, you know, dealing with the friends and all that kind of stuff. Occasionally half an hour, occasionally 5 minutes. But most of the time you're talking at least an hour, and then up to sometimes, I think the longest I've ever done FaceTime with a girl before sleeping with her that I actually slept with was 21 hours face to face. That's me personally. For a lot of guys, it's a lot longer, right? Because they don't push as hard. That was actually years ago for me too. I'd probably get impatient now. I don't know what that says. But the point is you don't have to try and sleep with a girl in 5 minutes. You need to have that time to pull back. And the less advanced you are, the more that's going to be necessary. Okay, when I was learning game, oftentimes, actually when I was learning game, most girls I slept with on the second date. That was like kind of my MO, my game plan. All right, you go out, go get the quick flaky phone number, call a million girls up. Some of them come out on a date with you. Some of them can tolerate you on a date and will go on a second date with you. Hopefully you kissed him at the end of the first date so that the tone is set for the second date. And then on the second date, you can sleep with them. That was my game plan back in the day. Now it's like, sleep with me the day I met you, and if you don't, we'll probably never see each other again. And interestingly enough, that's not because, the reason for that, by the way, is that it's self-selecting, right? It's self-selecting because if I'm doing so many more things right on the first day, and then they still say no to me, that means we probably really don't have chemistry. That means it probably really isn't a good compatible match, right? So that's what happens. I find that actually nowadays it's much harder for me to get like second and third dates than it used to be. Not because my dates aren't as good, but because my dates are better, right? Because I'm discluding all the ones I already slept with on the first date, right? But you're still just gonna get that range of girls. It's not like every girl's ever gonna like you. You're never gonna get that. That's an aside to the closing debate, but anyway, it is what it is.